Hey, welcome back. And today I want to share about a topic that people may find controversial, and that's debating. So, I've been a debater since I was 8. I'm turning 16 this year, and I volunteer to coach debate. I've joined many tournaments in my life, and I was even the vice president of my school's debate club. And you can kind of say debating has played a very big aspect in my life. But there's also parts of debating which I say I really disagree with. The entire concept of debating itself is trying to prove that your stance or your point is better than the other side. And through debating, you basically have to stay very persistent and very firm to argue for your side. Now, the truth is debating has taught me a lot of, different skills, like how to communicate more effectively, how do you think in other people's shoes, and this has also helped me to, you know, create a more open mind. However, I think a really big problem with debating is that it's basically the argument aspect of it. I think a lot of times as people, we really need to accept that some facts are wrong or some stances. Well, okay, maybe I'm not trying to like um what word fits. Like I'm not trying to say that everything there's a right or wrong answer, but I think sometimes that there are just things which are right and things which are wrong to like a lot of people, especially. And but the aspect of debating just goes to the fact where you still have to stay persistent to argue for your side. And I think an example like this is if we look at what's going on with the world right now, right? Like let's say if you talk about recent news where Trump pardoned all of the January 6th rioters, and let's say you are defending Trump. I think that collectively everyone can agree on that it is an abuse of power, that we shouldn't be doing something like that, that um they have um they have assaulted uh DC Capitol Police. They have they basically vandalized the Capitol, and their actions are getting pardoned just because they were fighting for Trump. And a lot of people think that this itself is bad. And you know, when there's like a debate about this, I think that if we're trying to defend Trump's actions, it's really hard. But if you master the skill of debating, it's really easy to just basically say a lot of like absurd stuff, or like you can just through the ethics of debating, like if you master it, then you can just make your case sound really like professional, or like sounds really strong. And you know many people would tend to believe that. And um I just think that this itself is a big issue with debate. Well, I'm not. Well, sometimes I get why people do that. Like, if you really believe in a certain stance, then you try your best. You do your best to defend it. But I think sometimes we really need to open our minds and really learn how to accept defeat, accept that sometimes what we believe in is wrong, but debating isn't really about that sometimes. Because I know I said debating has taught me to be open-minded, but that's because when I debate, I can argue for sides that um I may not believe in, and it really forces me to think of that side. Like, how do I think of arguments to defend that side which I may not agree in? And that's the part of that's the open-mindedness of debate I'm talking about. But when it comes to really trying your trying to defend your idea or your belief to your death, I think that's that just ruins a lot of productive arguments that can be created person to person. The second thing I feel that I don't like about debating culture is there's no emphasis towards diplomacy. It's a lot of times it's literally arguments where maybe not shouting matches, but to a certain extent debates can get to that. And I think that um we shouldn't be suppressing, oh no, oh sorry, suppressing not is not a good word, but we shouldn't be like fiercely arguing with people because of their ideas. Like sometimes people say absurd stuff, but um I think what we need to realize is that not everyone can be a political expert sometimes. So, like we look at how experts debate with each other, and maybe we debate with our friends on what's currently going on in this world, and we may have different ideas. We may have fierce debates over one another, but a lot of times we don't know everything, right? We're humans, and therefore I think debating should come as a way as form of education as well. Like trying our best to be nice um to convey our ideas instead of having it through like fierce arguments, which is what a lot of debating is about. Like even I who join a lot of debate tournaments, it usually gets really hectic. It usually gets really like um where in order to stand your ground, being fierce or being aggressive is how you win. And a lot of ways I disagree with that. That doesn't mean I find debating bad. It has taught me a lot, and it's still a reason why I coach debating as a whole. But I feel that in a bigger global context, we should really understand that um sometimes we really need to open our mind. Sometimes we really should be nice, and I know it's hard to be nice to everyone, but it really starts to but what we really need is like an environment where everyone can just discuss with one another. And it does sound idealistic, but compared to the status quo we have now, where no productive argument can happen because of the fierce arguments they have with one another, I think that it's time to take a different alternative.